My parents were missionaries in India when I was a kid, and supposedly when I was 3 years old, I told them that I wanted to be a physician so that I could one day work with kids in developing countries. It was just part of my identity since I was 3 years old. My parents put a strong emphasis on the value of children and just sort of the joy of a child. And so I think they imparted that sense of joy and wonderment at childhood, and also just the sort of value of a human child. Neurosurgery is a very thoughtful field of surgery because it's not just the plumbing, it's actually the CPU of our bodies. So it requires both a certain degree of meticulousness as well as a lot of thoughtfulness. And I think one of the best parts of my job is like half the time I get to play with kids in clinic, and the other half of the time I get to do surgery. It's like a win-win because basically, seeing kids in clinic, it's basically just watching kids be themselves, and you get to see hundreds and hundreds of children. There are times where my job involves being with parents in times of crisis, but there's a lot of other times where it's the opposite, where I get to see normal kids and reassure parents that the things that they're seeing are just part of the normal developmental process, that their child is going to be totally fine. And then other times I get to see kids go from having life-threatening or disabling illnesses to being back to normal kids. And so I think it's very rewarding just to see kids grow up and become themselves. Being a doctor is really just a fraction of it is actually what you do. A big part of my job is just to sort of make them know that they're heard, that their concerns are being addressed, and also just to navigate and inform them through the process. Knowledge, I think, is one of the most powerful psychological weapons that families have against the experiences that they have. And so just knowing what's happening, knowing what they can expect, knowing what their options are, I think is the first step towards not feeling that sense of helplessness that you can have as a parent with an ill child. I am Robison, and I am a pediatric neurosurgeon at Loma University Health.